Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain and welcome back. Now today I wanted to talk about some stuff that happened kind of last week and that I still see spilling out into various forms of social media, and the actual thing is completely irrelevant. It's the most pointless fucking thing ever. But the effects of it and the kind of ideological aggression that's being brought out as a result. Wow, I mean, I'm seeing friends literally attack other friends over this thing that is completely pointless, and that thing is the casting of Jodie Whittaker as the new Doctor Who. And in regards to this specific decision, my personal feelings are I don't care. I liked Peter Capaldi in the role, but I also wasn't a big fan of the writing that was going into the series. Stephen Moffat, in various ways during his time as one of the showrunners and kind of heading their team for writing and stuff like that, hasn't always done a particularly good job. And so on and so forth. And as a result, this change, it's been like alluded to or joked about at various times. The one thing that I would say is that I've not seen a lot of Jodie Whittaker's work, and so I'm not sold on her as an actress for this particular role, but that doesn't mean that she won't do amazingly well. I wasn't sold on Matt Smith either, but I was pleasantly surprised by how good he was in the role. You know, I wouldn't not give the series a chance just based on the actor. The thing that turns me off more is the fact that the last couple of seasons of Doctor Who, even the last season where Matt Smith was involved, they've just kind of lost my interest. I've just not engaged with it to the extent that I maybe have done with previous series, like the first couple of Matt Smith series or the ones involving David Tennant. You know, and as a result, my thoughts on this are see how she does, but hope the writing improves. Because obviously, for all of those people who are going, yay, female doctor, you don't want the female doctor to be the downfall or attached to the downfall of Doctor Who when it's got nothing to do with her being female, but has everything to do with it being poorly written. But the thing is then, as said, you know, there are a lot of Doctor Who fans. There are a lot of people that have really enjoyed the series since it's come back onto the air, starting off with Christopher Eccleston, like God knows how many years ago now, and rolling through all of those other Doctors more recently. And so, you know, there are lots of fans with lots of strong feelings on it. Fair enough, that's something that you would expect. But the thing is, yes, there are a few people, a very small minority, who are going to go, oh, the Doctor should be a man. And there are various reasons for this. Some people are just against women, in which case calling them sexist or misogynist or something like that. Fair enough, that's exactly what they're doing. There are some people that I've seen, which was kind of interesting to me, who were going, I'm a big fan and the only reason I've been allowed to watch this is because there was a male lead character, because I live in a place that I can't see, you know, the stuff with female lead characters or females in charge just isn't circulated. And so they're kind of sad about this decision, not necessarily because of the decision itself, but because they will no longer be able to get hold of or see the show as easily just due to this change. And then on top of that, there are the other people who, like myself, just kind of go, I'm not too fussed about it, but maybe they feel more strongly about the change. Maybe they feel that because female characters are generally harder to write than male characters for one reason or another, you know, there's that element of people being worried about it. And you can understand that. And some people are going to lash out when they're worried. It's new, it's strange, fair enough. But the thing is, that's still, the people who are completely against this are a very, very small kind of subsection of the overall conversation. And then you've got the people in the middle, people like myself, people like several of my friends who have gone, we're not necessarily sold on the actress, or the writing's not very good and we don't really care. Yeah. I saw a thing said by a friend the other day where he went, Not sold on the actress. It's a real shame that they missed the boat on Joanna Lumley, because she played the Doctor um, in a what was it, Children in Need kind of skit on the BBC, and so there were lots of people going, yes, this is what we want. Unfortunately, now she's moved on to other things. She's her most recent thing, I think, was the absolutely fabulous movie, and as a result, like that ship seems to have sailed, and they don't seem to have that option available to them. And also, there's a good chance that, considering there are an awful lot of younger people involved in the fandom around this show now, that you wouldn't get the same kind of engagement. I think that might be what some of the studio heads are ascribing to Peter Capaldi not being as well received, but hey ho. But anyway, as a result, though, the thing that bugs me is that you've got all of these people who are who some of them who don't even care about the show, yelling "Yay, vagina," and they are attacking anyone who isn't just purely agreeing with them. So obviously, this is a very ideologically focused kind of aggression by the people who are supposedly oppressed or at fault, or rather victims of the fault, or whatever else, and yet they're literally cry-bullying people into silence. A friend of mine who made a comment about the writing more so than anything else, eventually deleted the comment because of all the hate, or their initial post, because of all the hate that they were getting in the comments underneath from their friends. Now, I got no issue with discourse around a fandom. You can have incredibly meaningful conversations that span out into all manner of different disciplines based around something that's entirely fictional. That can be, those can be really great, meaningful conversations. Again, also meaningful conversations make you happier. I did a video on this like a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, or whatever. And as a result, though, with that in mind, meaningful conversations don't involve just shutting people down because they have a slight disagreement with you. Yeah? If you've got someone like, for example, Katie Hopkins put up a really shitty comment, she's probably not even a fan of the show. She really doesn't seem to care. She's just jumping on a bandwagon so that her name gets out there even more. The problem that I have with that then, though, is that lots of people were replying to her, lots of people were giving her more publicity and more time by having to respond to her. She's working in an attention-based kind of system, and so you giving her attention gives her what she wants, regardless of whether you agree or disagree. It's ridiculous. But with that, if you want to lambaste her for being a shitty person and for saying stupid shit, then go ahead. But you, like, coming out and tackling someone just because they say, well, I maybe don't like this actress and I would like another one. Yeah? Which she wouldn't have been my first choice. Well, if they're going to do this, I hope the writing improves. You people who are going, yay, we've got a female Doctor, you guys should be saying, we want the writing to improve. Because you, as I've already said, you don't want the female Doctor here, to be the big kind of downfall of the show just because they've decided to make this big change so that certain themes that carried on with other previous Doctors can't necessarily carry on anymore. The way in which the stories are handled, or the elements or the supporting characters may change. For example, if we've now got a female Doctor, does that mean we're also going to get once again more male companions? Yeah, the likes of Jack Harkness or Rory, who turn out to be really good supporting characters in their own right, even though they only turned up sporadically. Are we going to get more of that? Because if that's the case, then great. I'm all for this continued change around. But again, we also need the writing to support it. The dialogue, the story has to support that, because otherwise, if it just stays kind of very mediocre or gets worse, then all of those people who are genuinely like Katie Hopkins, or like all of these other people who are coming out and going, no, we don't like it just because she's a woman. Only qualifying remark that they make. Yeah? If this then collapses and doesn't do well because the story's shit, because they've not written it well, yeah, because maybe she was the wrong actress for the role, which remains to be seen, then you're going to have whatever reasoning you had for going yay completely taken away from you. And you're not looking at this necessarily as a fan. And the number of people that I've seen going, oh yeah, I'm going to soak up some tears of salty dude bros and stuff like that. It's like it's a completely irrelevant TV show, like literally going out of your way to make stupid comments like that and then actually act on them, which again I've also witnessed through the wonders of social media. You know, you shouldn't be taking an ideology and just because you've got something that you can rally behind, something that you feel that you can support through that ideology, that doesn't mean that then you need to shit on everybody who doesn't support it. Yeah? Like, you can directly tackle people who are not just opposing the changes or opposing your views or whatever else, but the people who are also essentially opposing the law of the land and the cultural kind of cornerstones that we have in regards to equality and things like that. But then again, the people who are complaining about this are usually the people that ignore the laws around equality and ignore the fact that they are already counted as equal by institutions and everything else, and in some cases get preferential treatment. So they're ignoring all of those things, but they're more than happy to shit on someone for and gang up against someone as well, which is one of the things that really bugs me, over a fictional character. Like, I've seen all of maybe one comment from a like normal person online. I've seen maybe a couple more via Twitter. But overall, no one's necessarily disagreeing with the Doctor being a woman. The disagreements are elsewhere, yeah. Or the disagreement with the Doctor becoming a her is based around the story or other things that they feel are going to be more difficult for the show to achieve just because of it. You know, do I feel like maybe this is a political move? Yes. Do I feel like the BBC has a really bad track record in the last couple of years of making these political moves based on diversity and based on whatever else? Yes. Would I give it a chance? Yeah, sure. What if it turns out to be the best series of Doctor Who so far? Yeah? Like, I still at some point intend to catch up on the Peter Capaldi stuff. You know, I intend to watch this at some point. But again, like, the point in arguing over these things is that there isn't one. And then on top of that, seeing people also heralded it once again, rather unsurprisingly, by people like Anita Sarkeesian at Feminist Frequency, who put out a whole string of ridiculous tweets about this change and how people are upset and how this isn't enough. She needs to be tackled. All elements of this character need to be tackled as some kind of diversity thing, and it's like, no, diversify on a kind of a level. Yeah, have your various characters generate a diverse atmosphere. Changing one character to be everything at once isn't going to do a damn thing. That's ridiculous. You are literally, once again, people not understanding how to tell stories. Kind of, they can generate a narrative, but they can't tell a story. And so it breaks down when you're actually looking at these things that are here for entertainment. They're not here for any other point. But ultimately, this kind of follows on from some of the stuff that I talked about in regards to bullying as well. Ganging up on people over differences of opinion, over something that's really inconsequential. It's not good enough. And seeing people that I know that if I went because I've done this before, some of those friends that I was seeing kind of ganging up on people, I know full well that when I've gone and tackled those people before, pulled them down, said what you are literally attacking this person for saying is for they were supporting your idea but they disagree with the mechanics of it. Yeah? And you're still attacking them. This is why you have no allies in this. This is why Donald Trump got elected. This is why your cause is losing steam, you know. And then they apologize, they back down, they cool off, and then the next day they're doing exactly the same thing again, just to someone else, you know. And that's why I wanted to make a video instead, because either hopefully those people, those friends of mine, will see this video and maybe think about it, because so far they're stuck in their little bubble and they're so busy yelling and screaming about someone who maybe doesn't like, fuck's sake, wrong side, doesn't like Jodie Whittaker in the role, for whatever reason, or is just worried that it won't be a good series because it's a very swift change. There are lots of things for long-term fans of the show to possibly be concerned about here. But also, we don't know yet. The season isn't going to be released for a while, and on top of that, the biggest thing with it all is it's a TV show. It's for fun. You might have strong feelings about it. I can appreciate that. But at the same time, seeing people who otherwise probably don't care ganging up on people who are just expressing an opinion about something that they like to watch on TV. Yeah? For instance, I'm a big Star Trek fan. I think Chris Pine was possibly one of the worst decisions for Captain Kirk ever. Yeah? He's a very wooden actor. I'm not a big fan of him. The only part that I can kind of go, yeah, he did okay, was Wonder Woman, and that's because he got carried by a lot of the rest of the cast, and then he died at the end. That's what kind of sticks out to me with all of that stuff. And so, someone saying that they're not sold on Jodie Whittaker is exactly the same as me expressing an opinion about Chris Pine. Yeah, it's an opinion. It doesn't make the slightest bit of difference. In regards to the writing, I can take an example from Star Trek. I feel like basically the Star Trek movies from the new franchise have kind of been lackluster. They've been good sci-fi action movies, but they've not been good Star Trek movies. And so, again, someone might turn around and go, do you know what? Jodie Whittaker's show her time as the Doctor, really, really good kind of sci-fi comedy action. Yeah, absolutely great, but it didn't really set in with Doctor Who. Yeah. You could do that. However, but they're just expressing their opinions and they're just taking part in the conversation. You shouldn't be bullying out the other opposing views, because guess what that is? That's oppression. You are or suppression, depending on how it's done. You are literally like pushing someone out of a conversation. You are silencing them. You are trying to silence them. You are actively ganging up against these people just because they don't sit 100% with the line that you want them to walk. And this is something that needs to stop, because it's only through these conversations, it's only through these dissenting opinions that growth happens. Yeah, as I've said before, in regards to things like government and parliament, you need to have that controlled conflict where there is conflict, because conflict stimulates growth. But having it be controlled, having it be kind of calm and reasonable, that's the kind of important thing here. Because if you don't have that, then you lose it. What if one of those people who's saying, I'm not sold on the actress and I'm not sold on the story, what I'd like to see is this, puts forward such a great suggestion that would make the show so much more amazing. Yeah? That would make Jodie Whittaker's time just so much better. Yeah, imagine if that was the case, but then because they'd been bullied and harangued, they just don't speak up as much as they could do. They don't get their idea taken on. Fan theories never grow up around stuff. And so as a result, the show is left to languish without any kind of input from a fandom. Yeah, from people who genuinely care, but maybe are willing to take a step back and be a little bit skeptical and a little bit kind of uncertain to begin with, because again, being uncertain, asking questions, being curious, poking holes in things, if you don't find those holes, if you don't find the weaknesses, then you can't repair them. And so to all the people just yelling yay vagina because you've now got a female lead in this beloved TV show, the one thing that I would say is, fine, say yay, be really enthusiastic. But my God, just because somebody turns around and says, I'm not sold on the actress, or I don't necessarily think the Doctor should be female, I think it's maybe more of a political move than one for the good of the story, for the good of the show, you know, don't shit on them for it. Don't harass them or call them sexists and misogynists and bigots and things like that. Ask them why. You know, be as curious and skeptical about their ideas as they are of this thing that has happened that you're so in favour of. Yeah? If someone out and out says she shouldn't be there because she's just a woman, and they have no other reasons other than she's just a woman, then fine, tackle them on it. But otherwise, if they're saying, I don't think it should be because she's a woman and women have this different set of general behaviours that may not fit in as well with the Doctor, writing a female character may be more difficult. As with the people that I was seeing saying, I'm in another part of the world and I really wish I could still watch this, but I'm probably not going to be able to due to the cultural climate there. You know, those people have a legitimate point. You know, this is a very kind of broadly beloved and accepted TV show that has meant an awful lot to an awful lot of people, and potentially this is now going to be suppressed in certain parts of the world purely because of the fact that the actor has changed. Yeah, and so they have an interesting point, and it maybe leads on to less of a point around the Doctor changing sexuality, or not sexuality, but changing sex, and more to do with kind of how media being consumed in different places has very wide-ranging effects, you know, and there's so much more to that, but none of it ever gets touched on when you have just this group of crybullies attacking people for no reason other than just expressing a slightly different opinion. But that's my 2 cents. I'd love to hear what you guys have seen, what you guys think about this. You know, I've said my bit on this. You know, I don't care that the Doctor's a female. Am I sold on Jodie Whittaker? No. Am I sold on the writing and whether or not the show's actually going to be any good? Also no. You know, considering recent track record in regards to the show. So, you know, let me know what you guys think about this change. You know, is it purely political? Is it the BBC being ridiculous again? Do you think the writing might back it up? Or do you think that, especially considering Stephen Moffat, who has been responsible for both some of the biggest successes and failures of the show, is no longer with the show anymore? Do you think that will give it a wider range of success or failure? Do you think that it will just collapse in on itself under the weight of expectation? You know, anyway, that's a lot of questions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you found this at all interesting or enjoyable, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.